Electric cars are hard to build. Building a car from scratch is hard, and now we're doing both at the same time.
Our function at the Center for Automotive Research is to be the doorstep for the university to meet with the auto industry. So mobility topics come together here. Our job is to connect anyone interested in how mobility works, the next generation, the research and the training of the students and the eventual engineers that will work in that industry, and to bring those projects together. One of those highlight programs are the student competition teams that we're visiting here, where we really give students the opportunity to serve as the leaders. We don't tell them what to do. They really define the projects and completely operate those projects like small businesses. Engineering design, development, prototyping, and eventually racing, which is just an unparalleled experience for a student to have alongside their education.
We're a very smart group of people. We've persevered through a lot of ups and downs. At the end of the day, I always see this team end on an up.
It's been a really exciting experience to see the Formula team be very successful here with their combustion car, but now pivot into a new technology, one that's very relevant to the industry, and go through all the challenges that the industry is going through as they try to figure out how to design and manufacture battery packs, electric machines, all new drive systems. Really, really relevant experience for what they're going to face when they head out in their careers.
Electric cars are hard to build.
I knew from when I got to Ohio State I was going to join the team because I've always been a fan of racing. I've always been a fan of cars. My first word was truck. I've been a car guy all my life. So I just knew that this is what I wanted to do, and cars are just a big part of my life, and getting hands-on experience working on an actual like smaller size race car in college while I'm getting a mechanical engineering education would be valuable to my life and could put skills on my resume that I could use to get a job.
It's a way to prove yourself. It's a way to prove yourself when you're doing something fun. I mean, what's not fun than building and driving a race car?
Deep down, I love it. That's really what I think it is about. What keeps me coming back is that every part of it is fun.
Automotive companies look for the kind of engineers who display passion, enthusiasm, and drive, which is the main trait and characteristic of the students who work on a team like the Formula Buckeyes.
And I think in the past we've mostly seen engineers and business students, a lot of mechanical, electrical, and aerospace engineers. We're very lucky to now have some business students involved.
And a big reason why I enjoy Formula so much is it's a very scrappy mindset. We've got a problem, we have no time to figure it out, so let's just put together something that works.
My role on this team is to organize the chassis, aero, and ergonomics of the car. A very large portion of this car is made out of carbon fiber, and my job is to organize and design and manufacture those components.
I'm a brakes lead and a controls lead, responsible for designing the whole brake system.
I'm the vehicle dynamics lead. It's pretty much everyone else's job on the team to actually design and build the physical car, and vehicle dynamics is kind of in charge of all the simulations and calculations before the car is built, and then overseeing all the testing after the car is built.
I'm the Vice President, Mechanical Systems Director, and then also Suspension Lead.
As a freshman, they asked me to be vice president for the FP24 year with the plan of putting me as the president for this year. At the beginning of the year, my goal was to get people to enjoy being at the shop. My metric was how many people are here on Friday nights, because if it's Friday night, you can be wherever you want, and if you're here, that means all of your friends are here and you enjoy being here. And I've seen a lot of that grow through the year. They got integrated quickly, and that's where they are. They'd rather be here than all their friends are here, and they like working on the car.
We say that if you want to be involved and if you want to have an active part on this team, that there is a pretty significant time requirement. Just being here and learning, obviously in the early stages, just understanding what's going on, understanding the terminology, but then actually finding a way to contribute is the important part. As long as you show up and you try and you learn, really anyone can make a difference.
As I think about the future, electric propulsion for vehicles is a reality, and it's going to be part of the answer.
Electric cars are hard to build. Building a car from scratch is hard, and now we're doing both at the same time. The 24 year, there was just big changes. It was a different rear frame. There's a lot of parts that changed, but as a whole, it was still more or less the same car. You could really tell that it was just an improved last year's car, versus the FB25 is going to be a lot different. There's just about every sub-team has had some major change.
It's been a struggle, especially compared to last year. Last year felt a lot smoother, but we also had a lot more older people. Now that everybody's kind of cycled through and we're more into younger level leads and leadership, it's been a lot harder, especially while having to redesign basically an entirely new car.
You can't fit a CBR 600RR motorcycle engine in a full carbon fiber tub.
This year, I mean, the fact that we don't really have a legacy to work off of, and we also have so many new leads, it definitely is a stretch, but also I think it's been really amazing to see just how quickly people kind of got on board and have really kind of acclimated to the new type of team that we are. But we also got a lot of help from, faculty and, everyone at, Center for Automotive Research. So it's been really great.
There are so many question marks with moving to EV that we weren't even able to really get a confident simulation going, because stuff like the motor is obviously a very big part of how the car is going to respond. And you can take what the datasheet says and you can say, okay, at this speed we're going to get this much torque, but they give a range. There's the maximum torque that it can produce, just period, and then there's their kind of normal operating, and we don't know how far in between those two we can run.
I have documents in our Google Drive that go back to August of 2022 when people were running the analysis behind switching to EV. So this has been in the process for 2.5 years and we're still behind. We have guys that are a 5th year senior that have been doing this since their sophomore year, is speculations on the EV switch, and we're still months behind, is how difficult it is. I mean, we have had the batteries picked out forever, we've had the motors picked out forever. Doing something that undergrads typically never do. This is all master student stuff. Designing the battery pack is what master students do, and we have a bunch of 19, 20, and 21-year-olds doing it.
Hopefully here in about, let's check the time real quick. About 30 minutes from now, we should have our motors spin for the first time.
For I think going on 35 years, they've run combustion engines, so this will be the first time ever the Formula Buckeyes at Ohio State have powered up an electric machine. So, event, you could call this monumentous.
Given that we have a competition in June where this car needs to be running, we don't have 4 months to spare. We can't wait. We won't have any testing, and we won't know how the car performs. We won't know if the car could perform.
Motors are about to spin, which is really exciting. Should spin tonight. A little nervous, but overall I'm really excited because there's been so much work, past year and a half of work that's gone into it, and so we're really close, and we're getting closer every single day to a running car.
Final few minutes to power up checks and see if they can spin their motors.
Currently there's a resistor in question, and if it's working appropriately, or not working appropriately, if it was the correct resistor added to where it needed to be.
Yeah, feeling pretty good going in from the start. Not so good 40 minutes later when they weren't spinning. So one of the motors was out of phase. So when you have a motor, a 3-phase motor, you need each phase of the motor to be in a certain order. The pre-charge circuit just did not like activating that contactor. So
the beginnings to getting it functional, and then many years to come to improve, optimize, and start to build their own components and to do a fully integrated electric powertrain.
Pretty stressful day. What I was working on was called a dynamometer. Test pretty much anything you want to. With an electric vehicle, the way we do it is we actually have 2 motors facing each other, and then you can read torque data from there, so it kind of simulates a load on the cars. Don't quote me on this. I am almost positive the EV competition has not gone a single year without some sort of fire or electrical failure. So we can't just run high voltage willy-nilly. They want to make sure that no one gets hurt when we're trying to run high voltage for the first time. So
there's just a level of expectation that comes from our team of just greatness we have to achieve. So even if we get knocked down, I've been knocked down more times than I can count with this battery pack, but I know in the end it'll all be worth it if we get a full-fledged EV race car that could rip around a track and put down other teams.
I think we'll be ready. Of course, we won't be as ready as we hoped in 2024. So when we were building this car, we had some pretty aggressive timelines. And I think that just kind of comes from being naive, being a new team, new competition. We don't have experience with this before. We hear whispers and rumors from other teams, maybe some tips from another, and they could be completely wrong. But it seems like FSAE as a community love to help each other out team by team.
I hate to say it, but it is going to be tough. The hopes were high going into this year, but having deadlines creep up much quicker than we thought, and just kind of problem solving the whole way through. We didn't expect the journey to be easy. We knew it was going to be difficult. We knew the first year was going to be rough.
I'm very confident in everything that's on that car. If it's on the FB24 and it's on the FB25, it will pass tech. The new stuff, I don't know. All the design decisions have been, does it pass tech? Yes or no?
Just getting everything ready to go because we have a shoot. So OHD, one of our sponsors, are having a little shoot for us to basically unveil the car. So getting that all prepared, getting stuff ready for rollout, just making the car look pretty.
We're just waiting on some decals.
Oh, sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors to put on around the car, finish up the wing. We have to put all that back. They have to put all that back together.
It looks great. We have some sketches that we designed and kind of picked things that we like and didn't like and made one big design that I think it looks fantastic.
As it's coming together, I'm getting very proud of it. On that car, I had only a handful of parts, and I can point at the part and say, yeah, that's my car. Like, I made that part on that car. On this car, it's the whole thing. I can look at the whole thing and say, yeah, I brought this all together. Brought the team together to make that car. There's a lot more ownership over the whole car as opposed to just the parts that are on that car.
Looks pretty, everything looks good. Problem is, it can look as good as it wants to, but if it doesn't run, then it doesn't run. Then that's the biggest issue we have. We can't compete.
The original timeline, which might have been a little too jumping the gun, the battery pack was supposed to be done in April of last year. We have to interact with the other leads to make sure that our parts work with their parts and their parts work with other people's parts. So we hold meetings every week, once a week, to discuss what we've done that week and what we're going to do the following week and what all we need from each other and just how we're going to get this car to work. This is the first year design cycle. A lot of stuff's going to go wrong. We barely know what we're doing.
We know we're running out of time. We know we're fighting against some pretty hard deadlines, but none of us have. We've talked about the possibility of running late to competition or not having a car. There's obviously that possibility, but the consensus around the team is we're going to be there just in time. We're going to get the battery done, we're going to get the motors done, and these guys are willing to stay late. So the idea is get as much done as we can before May 5th, May 10th, before most people leave. The few people that are staying will do the rest of the work, and then you come back for competition and hope everything's good.
I can't describe the monumental task that it is to switch when you've been doing things the same way for 35 years and making incremental change. This is the biggest step change this team has ever faced, without a doubt. Thoroughly impressed in all the work that they've done. Actually, just this week, got to sit in with the team as they work towards turning the motors on for the first time, monumental moment to start to spin the powertrain. The battery pack's coming together.
These are the best of the best. I could argue that they've committed to automotive. That's their passion, right? We're seeing it early. They can often hit the floor running at GM, so we really took advantage of this. For the students, this is real world experience that they might not get elsewhere, right? They can work on these teams, they work to industry standards in some cases, they work to industry milestones, and I don't think they would necessarily get that exposure elsewhere.
Books are great, but there's an element to participating on a team that's off and chasing after a goal. You're going to get skills on teamwork, communication, goal setting, what happens when things go wrong, problem solving, all that stuff kind of comes together with the things that you're learning academically, and you get that hands-on experience, and guess what? It's kind of what life is, right?
When I was in industry, I did make it a point to come and recruit here because it was very clear the students that participated on teams like this had a different experience level, maturity level, and really could walk into the job and perform in a different way.
So one of the things about this type of experience, experiential learning, hands-on, is that it allows you to learn by doing. And there's nothing like learning by doing, to really figure out, what are the gaps in your learning? How do you have to fill that in? But it keeps you moving, it keeps you going. I think one of the things, these types of capstone experiences where you are trying to put together all the knowledge in your head and seeing how to make it work is one of the best ways of really thinking about all the pieces that are needed for being an engineer, being a STEM major, and pushing forward a solution to a problem that exists.
That's what these teams really give the students, is that leg up and hands-on experience of what it's like to work in industry. But when I did recruit for a large OEM, one of the things that I did was come out to the OSU Motorsports building here at Carr at midnight, because those are the types of students I want to hire. Those were the dedicated students that were passionate, working hard, and really knew how to manage their time because they could get their homework done, but yet they were still participating in these projects and could function and still got enough sleep to go back to class the next day.
Had they been doing this for 30 years, you might say they're a little behind where we like to be, at this stage in the game, but I'm thoroughly impressed that they are as far as they are, and competition isn't even here yet. They still have months to go.